All right, muchachos, in this video we're going to talk about the present progressive. And this is a compound tense, meaning we're going to need two verbs to complete this. And in English, we use the verb to be. We use the infinitive to be, like I am or you are, he is. And then we add it to another verb that we change to the ing is my ending for that one. So I am walking, she is running, they are eating. Okay, so we it's a combination of those two. This tells us who it is, and this tells us what they are doing. Okay, so in Spanish, the way we do that, for this verb, the verb to be, we use the verb estar. Remember, we have two of them that mean to be, but we're going to use estar, not ser. So we have estoy, estás, está, estamos, that's estáis, and then están. Okay? So I'm going to pick, again, depending on who it is, I'll pick one of these forms. And just like English, this ing won't change. So if the person changed, so let's say I say, oh, he is running, and she is running, and they are running, and you are running. The running stays the same. That won't change. We'll just switch off from the forms of estar to talk about different people and that they are now doing it. Okay. All right. Now, how do we change verbs to the ing in Spanish? So if it's an AR verb, we're going to change the AR to ando. So the end of my verb will now be ando instead of AR, okay? So for example, and I'll erase this in a second. So the verb hablar means to talk. But if I change the AR to ando, so now I have hablando, that's now talking. Again, this ing doesn't tell me who's talking. It just changes the verb to the ing form. And then I would add in one of the forms of estar to tell me who is the one that's talking. I am talking, estoy hablando, they are talking, están hablando. Okay? All right, so that's what that looks like. Now, let's talk about ER and IR. So if we have an ER and IR, change ER or IR to iendo. Okay? So easy enough, ando and iendo. Okay, now ER and IR, we have another little issue, a potential issue. So let's put this down here. If we do this, we change to the endo, and then there's 3 vowels in a row. Change the I to Y. Okay. So the basic rule is AR verbs, we don't have to worry about that. We'll always change them to ando. ER and IR, we change them to iendo. But if it happens that there's 3 vowels in a row now, you're going to change that I to a Y. Okay? All right, let me erase this and then I can show you an example here. Okay. So let's say we have our infinitive vivir, which means to live, and we change it to viviendo. So we change the IR to iendo. That means living. Okay? All right, let's do the verb leer, which means to read. So we have leyendo. That means reading. But with this one, this is where we run into our issue where we have our 3 vowels in a row. Okay? So that's where we want to come back in and change this I to a Y. To leyendo. Okay? All right, so that's it. So for the most part, we're going to change all the ARs to ando. We don't have to worry about that. That's always going to happen. ER and IR verbs, we change them to iendo, unless we end up with 3 vowels in a row, then change that to a Y. Okay? All right, last thing we need to talk about Let's talk about pronoun placement. Okay, so we've talked about this before, and 1 and 2 we've already discussed. We're gonna add a little. I guess we could do it as a 3, but number 1, we move the pronoun in front of the conjugated verb. Okay, so that's where you'd say like, oh, I buy it. I buy is compro, and the it is lo, but in Spanish we move it here, so you say lo compro. Okay, so we move it in front of the conjugated verb. All right, numero dos. Attach it to the infinitive. So that's like where you can say, I am going to buy it. Voy a comprarlo. So this is number 2, where we take the infinitive and attach it. You could also do number 1, where you put the lo in front of boy, because boy, I've conjugated this to be boy. So I could put the lo here, okay? But so for this sentence, you actually have the option of 1 or 2. All right? Now we get a third option with our new tense here, the present progressive. Numero tres, it's attach it to the present participle. That's the ing word. Okay, that's the ondo or the endo. So once we've changed it to a present participle, now we have the option. Now remember, whenever you use the present participle as part of the present progressive, you'll automatically have the 2 verbs. You'll have the verb estar, and then you'll have this present participle. So if you say like, I am buying it, let's say the it is a dress, right? So you say, I am buying it. Estoy comprando. Okay, and then the it is lo, right? That's the dress. So again, we have a conjugated verb, estoy, so you could put it here, lo estoy comprando, and we have a present participle, the ing form of buy. This is buying, so you could attach it here, okay? So you could say lo estoy comprando, or estoy, can you see that? Yeah, okay. Comprando, comprando lo. Now, our voice goes up on comprando, goes up on this A right here, and when you add another syllable, it kind of messes with, it doesn't follow the rule, but we still want our voice to go up there. So if you attach it to the present participle, I'm going to put this here, add an accent. You need to do that so that your voice keeps going up at the same place. So we're going to put it right there. So estoy comprándolo, okay? But again, with the present progressive, you have both. You have a conjugated verb, which is numero uno, and you have a present participle, which is numero tres. So if you have a pronoun with that. Also, let's do one real quick with the reflexive. Okay, so let's say, using the present progressive, let's say I am shaving. So we'd say estoy afeitando, right? So this is afeitar. We add the ando to it, make it the ing. So I am shaving, but we still have to account for the reflexive pronoun, which is me. So again, it could go here, me estoy afeitando, or you could attach it. No, don't do that. So estoy afeitándome. Okay. Again, we still need the accent, but either place. But I am shaving, again, because it's reflexive. We have to account for that reflexive pronoun, and again, the reflexive pronouns also follow those rules that the indirect and direct object pronouns follow. Okay, that's it for present progressive.